The just concluded Osun governorship election has generated significant political conversations, not just about the outcome, but the conduct of the election, the role of political parties and their leaders, and what the result could mean for the broader political landscape ahead of 2027. Welcome to another edition of The Quest, where we go beyond the headlines to examine issues, the decisions and the political calculations shaping our democracy. I am Olu Okikiola. This afternoon, we will examine the Osun election from different perspectives, the credibility of the process, the lessons for INEC and other stakeholders, the role of major political actors, and importantly, whether the political dynamics in Osun offer any clues about what may happen in Oyo State come 2027. With that, I welcome you once again to The Quest on Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. You can join us live on Facebook on Agidigbo 887 FM online or www.agidigbo88.7 FM. With me in the studio is Professor Abideen Olaiya. Elections have come and gone, and I'm talking about the Osun election. Dr. Abideen is a professor of crop production and cropping systems at the Department of Plant Physiology and Crop Production, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and an APC Chieftain in Oyo State. Welcome to the program, Prof.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be with you.
We're happy to have you indeed. Yeah. Prof, the Osun election have come and gone. But it seems as though APC is yet to accept the validity of the result as announced by INEC on the 20th of August 2026. APC is still in court as we speak. I hope this is not to preempt the court, but if the proceedings goes in favor of Adeleke, I hope APC would wish and accept their fate in good faith.
Definitely. Election is for a winner to emerge. And the case in Osun, you will see that it was a keenly contested election where the winners had over 50% and the loser had over 40%.
Well, are you saying the loser? Dr. Senator Adeleke said there is no victor, there is no vanquished.
No, that is just to give...
to pacify the opposition parties.
Election is to be won and lost. And when you look at the keenness or the closeness of the result, you will realize that it could go either way. When election is contested, and the kind of result that we have is like that, it means that result could go either way. When it is about 50-50.
But this is not the case of 50-50.
That's why you will see some people saying if some deductions can be made, it is possible the thing can tilt either way.
Where would the deductions be coming from?
You see what happened during the Adeleke and Oyinlola's case. You know, it was a deduction that made Adeleke to become governor of Osun. So in the first tenure.
You want the same magic to happen?
No. It is. You see, most of the elections we have been conducting in Nigeria, to be factual, cannot withstand forensic examination. Most of the elections that we are doing, I've been on this field since 1995. I've been contesting elections. Most of our elections cannot withstand forensic examinations. So if anybody is ready to go the whole hog of putting the result into forensic examinations, it may go either way.
But the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself had wished Senator Adeleke, who emerged the winner, he has congratulated him. And he said in what he referred to, using his words now, as free, fair and transparent election. So would you assess these, that it cannot also withstand forensic analysis?
No, I'm aware that the president has congratulated the Governor Adeleke. Not only him, I'm aware that even the candidate of our party has congratulated Adeleke. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the party is different from individuals. The party is different from the president. The party is different from the contestants.
So it is the party that is going to court
Yeah,
now,
it
not
is
the
party that
individual.
No.
Not
It is the
Bola
party that is
Ahmed
still having some taking of. Let's look at this thing more critically before accepting the defeat. Can we still put it into some examinations? You know, when you enter in an exam and the result is not palatable, you can call for your result for it to be re-examined. So I think that window of opportunity, perhaps the party is still considering it.
Okay.
But notwithstanding the outcome, because eventually, even if you call for re-examination of the result and the result is still the same, you have no option than to accept.
Yeah. So, Prof, let's move in this direction. Some political commentators have described the just concluded Osun election as a contest between Governor Adeleke and the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as against Bola Ahmed, which was is your party candidate.
Yeah.
The argument being that APC deployed several of its sitting governors and some of the top party figures to Osun to rally support for Oyebamiji. Prof, they claimed the political tension and allegations of intimidation and other controversies surrounding the election had at the hand of the president in it, who had a major stake in the outcome. Prof, so would you agree or toe the line of these arguments?
I disagree totally.
Okay, why
with
so?
that line
Prof?
of argument.
Why so?
In the truth sense of it, president is a member of APC. An average political party member will want his candidate to win, no doubt about that. But to say that the contest is between the presidency and Governor Oyebamiji is to say something that is far from being
You
truth.
think it is an oversimplification of the Osun governorship election?
No, it's not. It's not, because you will see that the president was the person that was even putting the party, that if you put some things in place, some people will misread his own something as his own.
Like the EFCC freezing the account 10 days
You know,
to
the president had to go out of his way to command the EFCC to stop that court order. He has to go out of his way. If it had been other way around, that the president gave order to EFCC, you know what will have happened in Nigeria. People will have said, cry blue mother. That president was giving commanding the chairman of EFCC, who was supposed to be independent, because president felt that people will misread their situation. That's why he had to go out of his way to command them to go and withdraw that court order. And when he won, the president was one of the first group of people that congratulated Adeleke. So I don't know how people will read it as against. If they are saying it is a contest between Adeleke and former governor Oyetola, it is understandable.
Some people are of the opinion.
But if you say it's against the presidency, I know what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can do.
They said
Bola Ahmed will fight for even
irrelevant in the scheme of things.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu will fight for people who does not belong to his party. You know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the one that secured Mimiko's ticket in Ondo State, and Mimiko was not in his party. Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the one that secured the ticket of Adam Oshiomhole, governor of Edo State, whereas he was not in his party at that time. He was in Labour Party.
How would you explain the second leg of their argument? The intimidations, the alleged intimidations pre the elections.
The alleged intimidation is both ways. The governor of Osun used the leverage of the office of the governor to do some things in his favor.
While APC used the federal might?
While APC also had some room of opportunities.
What specifically, Prof? What's the room of opportunity? Is a federal might part of the room of opportunities, Prof?
Federal might is not. Federal might, like how? In terms of fund financing, nobody will not finance his party. Everybody will use the resources available to them. Adeleke used the resources available to him, and Bola Ahmed also used resources that are available to him. Everybody was looking for opportunities to win. So if anybody has an opportunity to use a particular resource and is interested in winning, he will use it. You can see that the APC was saying the governor was harboring criminals in government houses because nobody can go and arrest them there. Do you understand? He's using state power to resist arrest of some people. Whereas if somebody also had opportunity of meeting the Inspector General of Police that I also have interest in one thing or the other, you can also call him and say this person also should be protected, just like the governor protected some people they consider as criminals in the government house.
Okay, Prof. Well, I know some. So if an accord candidate or an accord chieftain was here, they most likely would not agree with your position.
Of course,
so
may not.
So let's take this, Prof. APC chieftain Farouk Aliyu, whom I'm sure you're familiar with, has said divisions within the party, that's your party, All Progressives Congress, weakened APC's chances of winning the Osun election. Do you agree with this position? And could the same, Prof, repeat itself in Oyo State come 2027?
Well, there is no party that is 100% united in Nigeria. The division in the party was not even the main issue. It may be part of the issue because some people may be in the party and may still work in the interest of any other party. But the division in the party is managed to the extent that it doesn't lead to the party's breakdown. And the result of this election, you cannot say APC performed woefully. When somebody had over 50% and somebody had over 40%, you don't say this person performed woefully. In fact, the election, even before the conduct, is 50-50 between the incumbent and the opposition party, which is APC. So when the results came out and the incumbent had 54, do you understand? And the opposition had 44. You will still see that it's along the line of prediction. There is like 50-50.
Keenly contested.
Yes, keenly contested. So it's not a woeful result for APC. Although divisions are there, unlike in the APM, what do we call it? The Accord Party, which Governor Adeleke had a united front to pass with.
Well, that is arguable because just few days to the election, a faction of the Accord, came to their national chairman. The faction came to declare support. So there is also faction within the Accord itself.
Yes, it is just because the Accord is not the party. It is Adeleke that is party in Osun.
So you're saying that Adeleke won the election and not the party?
No. He just used the party platform to contest that election. Everybody knows what's going on.
Well, I hope Badri Idris is listening now.
Yeah.
He's going to come here to defend this.
And the same thing does not apply in Oyo. It doesn't really apply in Oyo.
But there are also internal crises yet to be settled as we speak, Prof, in Oyo State APC.
In all the political parties in Oyo State.
We're speaking specifically to your party.
Specifically
Would that not
APC,
affect your chances of winning?
APC is doing all it can to settle the misunderstanding amicably.
What if it does not settle?
Well, if it does not settle, it may affect. Do you understand? If APC did not do the needful before the election. Because immediately you realize that it is not settled, then you use another strategy. You don't rely on unsettled acrimony to oversee or to coordinate your election.
Prof, well, let me put this to you. Why is it that some party leaders in Oyo APC are not rallying their support around the candidate who is Barrister Sarafadeen Ali?
You see, when election is going to be conducted, you have 13 contestants and only one is going to be taken. The others that have not been taken will still do whatever they like or they have to see if they can get the ticket. But if they couldn't get the ticket, they will eventually either align with the person that won the ticket or they will move to another area. So I'm part and parcel of the reconciliation committee of APC in Oyo State.
Indeed. And
we are doing all we can to make sure that all aggrieved party are brought back to the mainstream.
Oh, okay. Prof, let's go on a quick commercial. When we are back, I'm going to ask one more question before I allow you to go on the program today.
$88.7 FM.
Ọmọlá travel and tour. Ilé iṣẹ́ tó ń kọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun pẹ̀lú fọkànbalẹ̀. Ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run àtàlùbáríkà lójú. Èyí tó Ọmọlá travel and tour fi ń kọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun. Bẹ́ẹ̀ látìgbà tó ti ń fàwọn ìkọ́ni ìrìn àjò lọ sókè òkun jẹun kò fọ́ máa lọ́wọ́ rí. Léyìí tó mú gbogbo ènìyàn lọ sọ́dọ̀ wọn. Pẹ̀lú àlàálẹ̀ àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan tí wọ́n bá fún yín. Ẹ̀rù gbọ́dọ̀ bà yín má torí pé wọ́n gbàṣẹ́ gbòǹtẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ ìjọba lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àti lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Àtìlẹ́yìn àǹfààní tó wà lọ́dọ̀ Ọmọlá travel and tour ni wípé ẹ tún lè sanwó ọ̀hún díẹ̀díẹ̀. O ti wá fẹ́ lọ kàwé ṣiṣẹ́ tàbí ìrìn àjò afẹ́ lọ sókè òkun láwọn ìlú bíi Amẹ́ríkà, Canada, Europe, Australia, United Kingdom. Àǹfààní tó ti fìdí kalẹ̀ sí iléeṣẹ́ Ọmọlá travel and tour. Ẹgbẹ́ra òdòlú iléeṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní. Number 114 Ọmọlá Plaza Lẹ́kan Alabi Street, Àbáyọ̀mí, Ìwó Road, Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08079851232. Ọ́fíìsì wọn lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Locum Louisiana, United States of America. Ọ́fíìsì wọn tún wà nílùú Àkúrẹ́ ní Ọba Adéṣídà Road, ọjà Àkúrẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n tún wà ní Fákúnlé nílùú Òṣogbo. Ọmọlá travels and tour. Ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ìrìn àjò ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún.
This is a clarion call to all citizens of Oyo State that it is high time we took up the gauntlet and liberate our dear state from pretenders and usurpers in politics who are bent on running our dear Oyo State aground politically, economically, and historically. For the sake of our collective future and the memory of our golden past built and labored for by our forebears, their efforts made us the pacesetter state among the rest. Now is the time to rescue Oyo State. It is a collective task of all, wherever we may be on the surface of earth. Join the movement that means well for the people of Oyo State, whether rich or poor. Join Oriyomi Grassroots Mobilizer on www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng. Again, www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng. All your enquiries will be attended to, and we also welcome your comments. Let's join hands together, because together we can do it. OGM, Voice of the People, is the voice of God.
Akidibo, 88.7 FM.
Welcome back. I've been speaking with Professor Abideen Olaiya, APC Chieftain. Prof, as campaigns for the presidency and National Assembly begin today, the political temperature will undoubtedly rise. What should the campaigns be about?
Well, it's like the campaign has been postponed to maybe on the 9th of September. I had an information yesterday that the commencement may have been postponed to next month. However, what we should expect on the campaign is that it should be issue-based. People should remove violence. They should remove fighting. They should remove mudslinging. They should look at issues affecting us. What will you do differently? The economic has not been the way we want it. Okay, if you had the opportunity of being a governor or being a rep or being a president, what will you do differently from what the person is doing about the economy? What will you do differently about the security? What will you do differently about the welfare of the people that you claim? Because that's the major claim that most of us who are going to beg for votes, we say we are going there for. So what will you do differently and how will you do it? So that it will not be just open-ended campaign promises.
What will you do differently and how will you do it? So we've been discussing with Professor Abideen Olaiya, a professor of crop production and cropping system at the Department of Plant Physiology and Crop Production, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and an APC Chieftain in Oyo State. Thank you very much indeed, Prof.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now I'm joined by Amina Miyango, the Program Manager for Accountability Program, Center for Journalism Innovation and Development, CJID. Hello Amina, good afternoon. Welcome to The Quest. Hello Amina, can you hear us? Yeah, hello Amina, good afternoon. Please, could you unmute your mic? Oh, okay, I think we're having some technical difficulty. Yeah, hello Amina, good afternoon. We can't hear you. Okay, we are joined this afternoon again by Comrade Badri Idris of the Accord Party. He is the Public Relations Officer of the Accord, Oyo State. Good afternoon, BIO.
Good afternoon, Okiki. It's good to be here once again.
It's good to have you indeed. The Osun election victory is still, there's still like a remain of it on your face.
Yeah,
I can see you smiling.
It actually gives us immense pleasure to be here and discussing Osun. Because Osun has actually opened many conversations. And what happened in Osun has changed the political conversation in Nigeria, particularly in Oyo State. Because it is no longer whether a political party outside the traditional political establishment can win gubernatorial election. It is now how we can build on that momentum. So Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the election of Osun State under the platform of accord, with the structure of accord.
With the structure of accord?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
All right. So let's come to Oyo State.
Yeah.
Some persons have said Oyo is not Osun State, and you should not expect what happened in Osun State to happen in Oyo State. And I was reading a piece of you recently where you said that if it comes to who is the man of the people, that even your own candidate in Oyo State, Oriyomi Hamzat, has the power of the masses. How so? Do you think what happened in Osun State can replicate itself in Oyo State?
Well, we are not saying Osun is Oyo, but we are saying that the political lessons in Osun can be applicable in Oyo State.
How so?
Now, when you present a credible candidate, you form a stronger political structure, you create a compelling messages, and when a candidate has grassroots acceptance, the supposedly impossible becomes possible. So what we are saying here is that the Oyo State political environment is actually changing, and what happened in Osun has actually opened people's eyes to the fact that if we can come together as a strong-willed people, we can do the unthinkable.
You are banking on the acceptability of your candidate. What about the party structure? Does Accord in Oyo State have the structure it takes to win the election?
As Accord, especially in Oyo State, what I derive pleasure in is being regarded as underdog. So it takes off pressure on us, so it allows us to operate freely. So we built our, I won't say we are building, we built our structure intentionally. Last week, I think August 7, at the A3 here, we had a stakeholder engagement meeting. In that meeting, we had 351 wards chairmen, 33 local government chairmen, and other relevant stakeholders of Accord in Oyo State. We were there, and it shows that truly Accord is back. When they're talking about structure, the most important structure is acceptability of our people.
The most important structure is acceptability.
I'm telling you.
And that's what you're banking on.
We are banking on the acceptability of our party and the candidate and the structure we put in place. There's no single unit you go in Oyo State that you will not find the structure of Accord. That's it. And I won't be shocked if that by the end of the 2027 election, we get 1 million votes in Oyo State. And that's the thing, because the moves are changing. People begin to discuss. As of yesterday, I was in a particular high-end meeting with one of the chieftain of the big, the traditional political establishment, where he was telling us that, see, things are changing, and it seems that the pendulum is in your side. So now we know we are politicians. We know the terrain very well, and we know the mood of our people. So what happened in Osun State has actually changed the narrative. And that's why we are here as Accord. We are going to coast to victory 2027, and we are doing it massively.
APM, few hours to the election in Osun State, declared support for Adeleke. Does that permutationally make you feel uncomfortable in the accord in Oyo State?
Well, nothing. Yeah, if we are talking about, stepping down for a particular candidate, have you looked at the credibility of that candidate? Does it even have the structure? Now we are talking about Osun APM. Is there any APM in Osun? Because I was there live. There was no sign of a candidate. The said candidate didn't have any poster. I was there last week Monday till the end of the election. So now, when someone says that I'm stepping down, it could be from strategic reasons. I don't know. But we are talking about coalescing and then sending signal to us that it has nothing to do with us. We have done the needful. The first thing is that we want to capture Osun. And if you refer back, I don't think it's not on this station. I said it, the first state we are going to conquer as Accord is Osun State. And now we are done with Osun. We are fully focused on Oyo State.
So you are saying now that APM stepping down for the Accord candidate in Osun State has nothing to do with strategic coalition, but lack of structure to win the election.
That's it. No structure of APM in Osun. And it was evident. Because I'm not being told. I was there live. So it has nothing to do with strategic coalition. It was just that they didn't have credible candidates and they didn't have structure.
Would you say the same thing about the candidate in Oyo State?
Well, we are not in campaign period yet, but I will tell you for a fact that he has been there, he has done that. He was deputy chief of staff, served as commissioner for finance. So are you telling the Nigeria Oyo State people that the said candidate is now newborn? He has changed from being the previous man that worked with late Governor Ajimabi. What does he have to offer us? Is he bringing another ideas, or is he coming to continue the legacy of the current administration? So these are the things that we are going to be asking ourselves. So we are not here for campaign. I'm just saying that Accord is the party to beat in Oyo State.
BIO, let's move in this direction. There are still internal fractures in your party, Accord. What does this mean for you going into 2027 election?
Well, I would say that there's no internal fraction in our party. We only have unscrupulous element in our party.
Oh, you call people moving around, granting interviews unscrupulous elements?
Because they are people of questionable character.
The national secretary is. Are you calling the national secretary?
I've attended several programs. I keep saying it. National secretary, the state chairman, the state secretary. They are unscrupulous elements. They are people of questionable character. These are the set of people that wanted to trade us. They wanted to sell us off. But we resisted. That we are not going to be sold. That we are no longer a transnational party. We are a formidable party that intends to win election. So now, if they are parading themselves as though they have strength, I will tell you for a fact that they cannot even galvanize 10 people in their wards, in their various polling units. Okay, so
when we are back, let's go pay some bills now. When we are back, you shall tell us what this means for you going forward into 2027 election. And we shall be back. I've been speaking with Accord PRO Oyo State, Badri Idris Oriyomi.
88.7 FM.
àǹfààní àti èrè ló máa jẹ́ tiẹ̀ lóṣooṣù tó o bá lè darapọ̀ mọ́ Value Circle Africa. ṣé o mọ̀ pé tó bá ń gbègbè sí ayé ìlera èrè ńlá ni láàyè ọ̀tọ̀ nítorí ìlera lọ́rọ̀. gbogbo ìgbà tó o bá tún wá rajà lọ́wọ́ Value Circle Africa o kàn máa sọ àlàáfíà ara rẹ dọ̀tun nìkan o tún mú ìgbélárugẹ bá ayé ara rẹ ni. nítorí bó o ti ń rajà tó péye tó sì lérè lórí bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ̀bùn tún wà fún ọ lórí ọjà tó o bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wọn. ẹgbẹ̀rún 45 náírà ni wàá fi darapọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wọn. ojoojúmọ́ ni wọ́n sì ń gbòòrò sí. Value Circle Africa ló ń ṣe ìgbélárugẹ àwọn oògùn ìbílẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi ewé àti egbò ṣe nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà. fẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ pè 0901-227-3075 tàbí 0707-653-5189 àti 080-6284-1295.
Some weeks ago that those stubborn mosquitoes bit you. I remember. And now the symptoms? See how you're shaking like a leaf in Hamatan, and your temperature too is so high. You've been quite dull and haven't been eating well lately.
It feels like malaria symptoms, but I cannot afford to be knocked down now. I have a lot on my plate.
Then let us treat it immediately.
You're right. But which anti-malaria do we use this time?
Not to worry. The pharmacist gave me Linsonate soft gel the last time I had malaria, and it was very effective.
In what?
Linsonate soft gel. Let me go get it.
Stop malaria before it stops you with Linsonate Soft Gel, a product of Lean Edge Pharmaceuticals Limited. Available in pharmacy stores nationwide. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult your doctor. Linsonate Soft Gel. Live healthy. Enjoy your life.
Live healthy. Enjoy your life.
ọ̀rọ̀ ìdìbò tó wà ńlẹ̀ nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ni kò sẹ́ni tí ó kàn nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá kàn sáàsùn yóò kàn síbí ọ̀rọ̀ tó bá kogójì yóò kàn ọ̀ọ́dúnrún ohun tó bá kan abọ́yadé ti gbogbo ọlọ́ya ni gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ò nílé lóko lódò lẹ́yìn odi nílẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ ni àbí lókè òkun àgbájọ ọwọ́ la fi sọ̀yà lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí o ká lè gba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ kalẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ jẹ́ a jọ darapọ̀ nínú àkójọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó ń fẹ́ rere ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ eléyìí tá a pè ní Oriyomi Grassroots Mobilizer OGM káàkiri àgbáńlá ayé kò síbi tẹ́ ẹ̀ ti lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ẹ lọ sójú òpó ìtàkùn ayélujára tí ń jẹ́ www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng ẹ forúkọ sílẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ gbogbo ìbéèrè tẹ́ ẹ bá ní ẹ béèrè ńbẹ̀ á sì dá yín lóhùn á dáhùn ìbéèrè yín láì fàkókò ṣòfò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí www.oriyomigrassrootsmobilizers.com.ng lójú òpó wa OGM ọmọlúàbí pọ́nbélé ohun èèyàn lóhùn Ọlọ́run.
Akidigbo 88.7 FM.
Welcome back on The Quest. I've been speaking with Badri Idris, BIO, Oyo State Accord PRO. BIO, you called some people unscrupulous elements. Is there any plan at reconciliation? Perhaps you're looking at bringing these people back so that on a united front, you could go together into 2027.
Well, they've been calling us many names as well. It is normal in politics to throw banters and to yab one another and to talk when things are not going the way we want it to be. However, we are not saying that there won't be any reconciliation. We know we are of the same father with different rooms and the likes. We have the national body. So now they are going to call us and both factions, whether secretary, national secretary, and us in the state, we're going to sit down at the round table, we discuss it, and we harmonize our interests and we forge ahead. That is how it is. There is no political party that has 100% cooperation, including the big wigs that the traditional parties. They have their own internal crisis as well.
Why don't we have this ulabalu in the Osun situation?
Well, Osun has his own peculiarities. Do you get? And Osun comes with a different approach. At that point in time, Osun, there was a faction, the imposter, that came on the stage. Won the primaries. They are giving him full support. But people, he has been standing with the common man. So he is not coming as a ready-made man. He doesn't have financial war chest. We believe in him. The good people of Oyo State believe in him. So if at what we are going to campaign, even if you go out there and say Oriyomi will give you this, people will doubt it that you don't know what you are saying, because he is not known to be a rich man. And there's no point in hiding our face when saying that. He has never presented him as a man with the most money in the whole world. He's just a simple man. A man that loves his people and is ready to go any length to provide for them. That's who he is.
Your candidate is popularly associated with the grassroots.
Yeah.
Do you think, and the elites sort of have one or two things to say about him. Do you think this could affect, the elitist votes could affect his chances of emerging?
Let me tell you something. I've been with him for quite a number of months. We go around, have been in meetings with professors. And when you see these people talking about Oriyomi Hamzat, you'll be thinking, where is this elite conspiracy is coming from? Oriyomi Hamzat is loved by both elite and the grassroots. So you will be shocked that the vote is going to be getting from the elite might even surpass the grassroots. So he is balancing everything. But he is known to be a man from the grassroots. He cannot deny that fact. So the elitist conspiracy They are just doing it. They are just coming up with that theory to separate, to create classism. And we are not here for that. We move past that. People from all divides, they love Oriyomi Hamzat and they are trooping their support behind him. And it was evident in Osun. I was there live in Obokun, Ward 1, Unit 7 to be precise. They gave a particular woman 50,000 naira to vote. And the woman said, I'm not ready to vote for your party. They were pressurizing her to vote for a particular party. But the security men came, the NSCDC. They said, Mama, where do you want to cast your vote? Mama said, you see that top, that number 1 post, that accord, that's where I'm going to vote cast my vote. And they helped her to cast a vote. It shows the determination of our people. They don't want it. We are tired of having rice, tomatoes and the likes. We want good governance, where someone that has no job will get a job, where our security will improve, healthcare system will be improved. That's what we care about.
There are talks around your candidates having so much to offer compared to other candidates. How do you what's your response to this?
Well, we are focusing on our own candidate. We are in a political season, and people talk, they yab, they criticize. We don't want any distraction. We focus on our candidate, and when the time for campaign comes, let us go to the field and tell our people what we intend to do. That's our own stand in accord. We are fully focusing on winning 2027 election. The campaign will start September 9 for gubernatorial and House of Assembly. Then we can come on live and start talking about issues. But for now, we are creating awareness. We are sending our candidate. Let him be on the lips of everybody. And that's what we are doing for now.
Thank you indeed, Badri Idris, Oriyomi. That's the Accord PRO or Oyo State. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of The Quest on your most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. Today's conversation has taken us beyond the immediate outcome of Osun election to a bigger political question ahead. The credibility of our electoral process, the strength of party structure, the influence of political leaders, and what the unfolding permutation could mean for 2027, particularly in Oyo State. As the political landscape continues to evolve, one thing remains clear. 2027 will not be decided by assumptions alone. It will be shaped by alliances, structures, performance, voter sentiment, and the choices Nigerians ultimately make at the ballot. To our listeners and viewers, thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep questioning, keep engaging, and keep demanding accountability from those who seek your mandate. Special thanks to my production team. Bye for now.